Hi, I'm Dr. Francis. Hi, I'm Dr. Francis, a world-renowned wildlife nutritionist. You may not have heard of me, but your kitty cat sure has. And today, let's talk about milk for dogs, cats, and, well, that's pretty much it. Milk for your pets. Should you feed it? Yes or no? And if no, why not? Well, we know that dogs and cats love the taste of milk, right? When you think of cats, especially let's say a few generations ago, you just imagine a cat drinking a saucer of milk, right? It's so ingrained, especially in Western culture, to just be like, oh, cats love milk. We should give them milk because they love it. Not that long ago, even when I was a kid, that's what I thought, that the best thing for cats is you just give them a saucer of milk because it's what we see or what we saw in cartoons, in TV, in videos, in photos, anything like that. Even in black and white, it was always milk for some reason. Now, obviously, if you have a kitten or a puppy that is still being reared by their mom, then yes, they need milk, but guess what? It's not cow's milk. It's dog milk or it's cat milk. If for some reason, knock on wood, that the mom is no longer alive, then you need to get your own milk in order to raise these tiny little babies. Then there is resubstitute dog milk or substitute cat milk, which is a powder or a pre-made form, then you mix it. But those are not usually milks that you would give long term. But a lot of people still like to give milk, like cow's milk or goat's milk to their pets. Should they do it, yes or no? Let's find out. So the first thing that's important to talk about here is the protein inside milk. Cow's milk, for some mysterious reason, has a different protein than any other milk that mammals make. I think now people have a better understanding of this because of marketing. Now you're seeing these two different types of milk in the grocery store. One says A1, one says A2. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. Most of the cows in the Western world have a genetic defect, so they make A1 milk. This means that the protein that they create in their milk is alpha S1 casein, as opposed to alpha S2 casein, which is what every other mammal makes, and including some of the cows that are not from the West or maybe Europe or even in Asia. So that's why this cow's milk, often you get a really bad reaction if you try and feed it to dogs or cats that are not babies. The protein is wrong, the absorption is different. Even for humans, we know that we don't absorb this protein as well as A2 protein. Also, this milk is very high in lactose. Now, this high is so much in lactose that a lot of dogs and cats have trouble digesting this, which is why they may end up having diarrhea, which is why they may end up having some issues related to lactose, which is why they may end up getting like a stomach reflux or something like that. That is usually the main issue that you see with feeding milk to adult dogs and cats, is usually like the cleanup that you got to do with all this diarrhea. But it's deeper than that because that protein is just not correct. It's not ideal for them. So does that mean that you should be feeding A2 milk instead? Well, that fixes the milk issue, but you still have a lot of lactose. So I still wouldn't recommend you feeding any kind of cow's milk to your adult dog or cat. Even if they're kitten, you should be giving them cat milk replacer or dog milk replacer. Cow's milk doesn't really have a lot of place in this world of pet nutrition. Now, a lot of people say, well, what about goat's milk, right? Because everyone says, and online, Google will tell you goat's milk is fine because goat's milk has less lactose. Well, that's not true. Actually, they have the same amount of sugar. That is a big myth. Very, very similar concentrations of lactose. The difference is that goat's milk is all A2. It's A2 casein that's inside. So you're going to get slightly less of a reaction because some of the stomach upset is because of lactose and some of that stomach upset may be because of the protein. Now, there's still some ongoing research here, but more in humans, a lot less in dogs and cats, unfortunately. But in humans, we are seeing a big difference with humans that are lactose intolerant, or so they think, and then they get A2 milk. They seem to have less strong reactions. So again, if you're gonna feed cow's milk or goat's milk, well then yes, goat's milk is definitely a better choice, but you're still gonna have the lactose in there, which could still cause a problem. So you may think of giving something that's fermented. Fermented could be stuff like yogurt, could be kefir, or kefir, depending where you're from. This is basically milk that has been fermented, so there's almost little to no lactose in it because it's been digested by the bacteria, which also means the bacteria reproduce, and you have lots and lots of probiotics. So you're actually getting protein, you're getting some healthy fats, some minerals, and you're getting probiotics. Super good for gut health. Now, if you ask me, can we give fermented milk? My answer is completely different. Turned over on its head. Yes, fermented milk, such as kefir, kefir, yogurt, amazing. Make sure it's plain, not flavored, no sugar added, nothing else added, none of that like, honey inside, No, you want it to be plain, 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 plain. And you don't need to give a lot. You only need to give a few tablespoons once your dog or cat is already used to it to get all these benefits. There's so many studies linked below that kefir is awesome for the long-term gut health of your dog or cat. Not only that, but it can help to fix leaky gut. It can help to recolonize some of the bacteria that is not there but should be there. It's really, really awesome. You can feed it on its own. You can mix it with their food, with their kibble, canned food, with their raw food, cooked food. It doesn't matter. There's no wrong way to feed kefir or yogurt. You can even freeze it, give it as a popsicle. So now there's some other things you can do that help. Like if you choose a milk that is from grass-fed cows, you're absolutely helping the nutritional content of the milk, whether it's cow or goat actually. But grass-fed really has a higher amount of healthy fats, more omega-3 in the milk. Studies don't show a significant difference in the nutrient content of the milk between those that are grass-fed or that are just normal factory farmed or organic. Usually you'll see the difference in the fats more than the minerals or anything else. So I just mentioned organic, right? A lot of people think, well, you should feed organic milk, which great, if you can afford it, if you can find it. No objections from me. Yeah, organic is a great option. Just know that the feeding trials didn't find a lot of differences in terms of nutrition. However, yes, you may end up getting less antibiotics or less growth hormones that they're not supposed to be in the milk, but maybe small residues find their way there. So you're gonna have a lot less chances of that being in the milk if you buy organic. Will that affect your pet's long-term health? Well, studies haven't confirmed or denied that yet, so we don't know. But if you want to put all the odds forever in your favor for your pet's health, then sure, buy organic. And there's one last thing we need to talk about: raw milk. Raw milk for humans is illegal in all the countries that I've researched or that I've lived in. And in some countries, it's even illegal to just have raw milk, full stop. You're not even allowed to have it for any reason. In some countries, it's allowed for animal consumption, for pets. So that's why you're able to buy it in your pet shops, usually frozen or in the chiller section. Raw milk has not been pasteurized, which means it has not been processed. It means you don't know what microbes are living in there. You could have some very good ones. You could have probiotics. You could also maybe have some not so good ones, especially if it's from like a big battery farm where maybe sanitation is not number one. I mean, you can YouTube as many videos for dairy farms as you want. You have some that are not too bad. You have some that are downright disgusting. And especially where the milk comes from, bloop, then you may end up having some salmonella. You may end up getting some E. coli. You could get who knows what inside this milk. Now, I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just saying it is what it is. The majority should be fine because there's a lot of good microorganisms that can help to fight and protect. But I think the biggest thing here is that there's a natural lactase inside raw milk. And what a lot of advocates for raw milk say, this is more about like hearsay, it's not really published. They say that, well, when you feed that, the lactase will digest the lactose that's in the milk. So you won't get any reaction in dogs and cats because they won't have any symptoms of lactose intolerance or anything because there's no lactose left because it's already in the milk. And that is true. And when it's pasteurized, they say those enzymes are denatured, which is also true. But feeding trials have not corroborated this. They gave raw milk and normal milk to humans that were lactose intolerant, and they all had reactions. They all had diarrhea. Imagine you're doing a study of 100 people and 100 people have diarrhea. That's sad. That's a sad day, or a sad week actually. It was over 2 weeks. But then this begs the question, is this because of the A1 protein or is this because of the lactose? We don't know yet. So if you really want to be sure, here's my final advice. Give something that is fermented. At least you know that there's no lactose. Fermented cow's milk has been proven to be very beneficial for dogs and cats. You know you're not doing anything wrong there. If you want to be even better and cover all your bases, yes, you can go for grass-fed. I recommend it. Yes, you could go for organic. Or you can do that and also have goat's milk instead. That way you're getting the A2 protein and you're making sure there's no lactose. And then you're fine. It's a bit too early for me to give the green light on raw milk. A lot of forums and people will say it's great. And I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying there are some risks you need to be aware of. But all those risks are gone if you just give fermented milk. Fermented milk is amazing for them, and there's tons of research. You know it's safe. You won't have to fight with your vet about it or your nutritionist. Everyone will say it's great. Raw milk, it's a different story. And I'm not saying no, I'm just saying that there's not enough information yet. So if you've been feeding raw milk and it works for you, awesome. Please don't stop on my account. But if you're thinking about raw milk or not, now you have the information to make the decision for yourself. But fermented milk will always be a good thing for your pet. And if it's fermented goat's milk, it's even better. So here we have the branding is milk for cats, but it's just kefir, so it's good for dogs and cats. And it has over 60 different strains of bacteria inside, which is what's great about a probiotic. You never want to give a probiotic that has 1 or 2 strains. You want to give as many as possible. If not, after giving this for a long time, you may be doing your pet's gut health a disservice, which we don't want. So there you go, fermented milk all the way. If you want to be amazing, then you can even do organic, grass-fed, or you can do goat's milk that is fermented as well. Hope you enjoyed this video, hope it helped. Let me know in the comments, especially if you're a raw milk feeder, I really want to hear from you. I want to hear your experiences, but be fair. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? Okay, I'm excited. I can't wait to read the comments. Follow us on our socials, TikTok, Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.